Borrowing books made easy. We deliver books to your doorstep. Sign up now at mybookshelf.com.pk. Hello, my beautiful viewers. Welcome to the Tea with My Bookshelf. Today is a very special episode. I'm going to be having tea with my close friend and superstar Komal Rizvi. Komal is an actor, singer, talk show host, TV personality, and entrepreneur. Her beauty brand Truly Komal has a range of yummy skincare products. So let's have some tea with Komal and ask her how she does it all. Hi.
Hello, my love. I am so excited.
I am so excited.
I am being interviewed by my BFF.
Yes, I know. I feel like I'm sitting like on your couch in your room having chai.
So I can like say stuff,
yeah,
right?
you can
about
say
you
stuff.
that nobody knows.
No. But yeah, so this is just an extension of that. So first of all, like what was interesting is that I keep reading, this whole concept of like the crossover and, this one crossed over to this country and to India and to Bollywood. And like you were like one of the orig. I mean, you crossed over with kind of Channel V, you were VJing with, Baojee. I mean, that was like the orig.
Yeah.
So how was that journey for you? And I mean, that's like iconic that you did that.
And I'm very proud of that. Actually, I didn't really realize at the time what an enormous step it was.
You were a baby.
I was very young.
Yeah.
And I think Nazia and Zuhaib had already done it before me. But just being on, the biggest show, BPL OA, in the subcontinent and then releasing the first solo album, Nazia Ki To with Zuhaib tha, right?
Yeah.
I didn't even encash it as much as I should have.
Awareness.
I had no
nahi.
awareness. I was just doing my thing. I was loving what I did. I was getting opportunities. I think because of my optimism and my energy, I attracted more opportunities to me. And I think it was the lack of realization of, oh my God, and the fact that it kind of accumulated, the opportunities,
One after
became
the other.
exponential was because of that lack of focus on, can I do this?
And that lack of planning.
Yes. And I feel that now that we're older and more jaded, now like this time again, I did a Saregama Ki album in India. And then I, put it on PR and I did my whole thing. I hired teams to it and like nothing much resulted of it. And again, it's because there's too much energetic focus towards we need to make this big, So sometimes awareness is actually a good thing.
Okay. And what about like mummy papa's reaction at that time?
Not good.
Yeah.
Papa has been this consistent blind person in my life where I can say, this sky is purple and we'd be like, this sky is purple. But me, like I got into very good schools. I got into like Stanford and New York, NYU and all of these places. I had very good grades. So my mother had this preconceived notion that I'm going to be a doctor because everybody in her family, literally everybody in her family, except for her, is a doctor. So her unfulfilled wish, she kind of was like superimposing it unconsciously and with the best interest in mind.
Of course.
Which is why she basically, from somebody who was never allowed to date, who wasn't allowed to go to her A-level farewell because her curfew was 7 p.m. I wasn't allowed to wear sleeveless. Which is possibly why in Channel V I kind of went a little crazy and I, just did my thing.
No, but you did it all with a lot of class, I thought. I mean, I don't think
but
there was
the
anything...
midi skirts and the halters weren't received so well. And I may have been able to manage that better if I had been exposed to it from the start.
Got it.
And there are mistakes that everybody makes. They tried their best. I tried my best. But I feel like my mother got me married to a very, I think, incompatible individual, knowing my personality, out of the fact that, log kya kahenge.
Yeah.
And she wanted it for me.
Of course,
you know?
because that's, I mean, a South Asian mother. I mean, that was going to be my next question, that we have placed such a stigma
Yeah.
on anything to do with an entertainment, arena, that whatever, your protectors, your family.
Not anymore, by the
No,
way.
no, things are better.
And
but
that
still.
is what upsets me, is that now it's cool.
No, it's cool, but still not 100%.
I mean, I would say, Kamala,
much
that
better. We've come a long way.
You're in a bubble, by the way.
I know
you're
I'm
in a bubble.
For sure.
So I'm not talking about those type of people.
Okay.
A very few, babe. They're like 0.01%.
Okay,
Everybody else would give their right arm to be an influencer, to be an Instagrammer, to be a vlogger, to be a TV show anchor, to be a TV star, a film star. It's all nonsense.
So you're saying the social stigma is not there anymore for, let's say, whatever, the middle class, upper middle class.
No, it's there. It's there because the fanaticism in this country.
But that's what I'm saying.
But then those people are irrelevant to us because they're not our viewers and they're not our workers.
Okay.
They are kind of disparate from the media world and the knowledgeable world, the aware world, the exposed world. So I usually don't take the extremists into account.
And you don't think that this kind of wave of religiosity, you don't think it's going to filter in?
It has. It's permeated to all kinds of things, but I feel like the political instability and the economic weakness of Pakistan has played a huge role in extremism getting a upper role. But I feel, inshallah, it's not always going to be like this.
Inshallah, absolutely.
At some point, the stability will hopefully seep in.
Yeah.
I mean, just look at what's happening. Like, our top-notch people are mukka marrying. It's so embarrassing.
Throwing lotas in parliament.
I mean, it's
keeping it real classy,
repulsive.
I must say.
It's repulsive.
It's cringy.
That these are our leaders. And so hopefully at some point someone will realize that this needs to be fixed. And then at that point, I feel that media and show business will really bloom. Like in Pervez Musharraf's time, he was a little bit more moderate.
He was.
Despite being a military man.
He was.
And I am not politically savvy at all. So I'm just basing this out of personal experience. I'm not pro anybody. Which is also a bad thing. Because at least you should be pro somebody. I feel like not speaking is just as bad as, you know what I mean, right?
Absolutely.
But I feel like in his day, the channels opened up, the censor board relaxed, the subjects that people were attempting to, film or enact, the crimes that were happening were being recorded and played. I feel that was a huge boom. The books that were being written, Kamala, were also more diverse.
Yeah, for sure. Those books, by the way, a lot of those books are banned now. You cannot buy them anymore. So it's, there's been a clampdown on, a freedom of speech.
Freedom
to an
of
extent.
knowledge. Like, you should be able to read everything. Even if it's bad, a person should be intelligent enough to judge on their own.
100%. And speaking of this social stigma, like, obviously you're a celeb and, as an audience member, as a friend, as a fan, like I see so many women get so much hate and this cancel culture and trolling and, whatever you call it, slut shaming, whatever you want to call it. And it's so brave for all these women.
I don't think so. I don't think it's brave at all. There was a time it affected me, and that was my immaturity. That was my lack of self-esteem, maybe I would say, because when you're younger, you're still trying to know who you are.
True.
I honestly, truly, 100% believe that it doesn't matter what the trollers, haters say, because they are not in good shape.
They're miserable
themselves. They are not
themselves.
in good shape. Listen, if anybody tells you you're too old to do anything, you're too fat to do anything, you're not talented enough, you're wearing clothes that we don't think is right. If anybody says anything negative on Instagram, it does not affect me 0.01%, because the only person that I am answerable to is my conscience and my mirror.
Amazing.
And people who I love.
Okay.
So if somebody says something to you on Instagram, my recommendation to everybody listening out there is just say, God forgive you, and move on. Because it is really not your business that they are leading a sad life.
See, it's difficult because sometimes, like even with us, like we deal with books, but even within that realm, where how could you encourage this book and what are you promoting and this is against
should not
religion,
matter
and
to
we
you
like
at
we
all.
are like, oh my God, like what should we do? Should we remove it? Should we stick to our guns? Like it's a difficult decision.
No, it shouldn't be at all. It's a very, very black and white decision now for me, and it took me a while to get here. There were 3 stages of evolution where I became self-aware enough in my character to not let it make a difference. Number 1 was, why are they doing this? Why are they saying this? I'm only trying to help people, The second phase was, I don't care what they say, but other people are looking at my Instagram. Other people who have Birkin bags, and my mom's best friend who just bought a hospital is looking at you are a slut on my Instagram, and oh my God, I'm going to be so embarrassed. That was the second phase. Then I realized that when you go from this world, you don't take anybody or anything with you except for your memories. And, just diverging a little bit on the same topic, I asked a very, very intelligent friend of mine, probably the smartest person I know, that what is more important in life in terms of having a purpose? Is it having a goal or is it the journey? And he was quiet for a second and he said, the company. And it's so right, Kamla, that if I don't have the right people in my journey, my journey is bekar. If I don't go have tea with you or go to Germany with Natasha or have a lunch date with my nephew, my life is bekar. It is devoid of any substance whatsoever. So this whole what log kahenge, जिनको मैं प्यार करती हूँ और जो मुझे जानते हैं सरसरी भी, वो उसको देख के कहेंगे जहालत.
Of course.
और अगर उन्होंने देख के कहा हा कोमल को slut shame हो रहा है, then why would I care about them? Why would I let people like that
even
change my
life,
decisions? That I'm not going to post this because that person who I don't care about is going to, why? It's just not...
Do you block these trollers? Do you interact with them? Do you give it back? Like, what do you do? What's your way of handling
When
it?
I see them, I delete it.
Okay.
Just so that it actually is a very smart thing to do, because it actually discourages people from writing further negative comments when they see they're mostly positive. Then they psychologically
there's
just
no bandwagon
feel,
to get on.
It's herd mentality, right? But it's not because it bothers me.
Okay, amazing. And so, kind of extending from that, like, I have known you for many years and like up and down and back and forth.
And by the way, I'm with her, I'm like completely another person. She's constantly like, you're so stupid. Like, you're so stupid. Like, how could you? Another Komal boo-boo, another Komal boo. So you're probably seeing a side of me that you've probably never seen before.
Very smart, But the one thing about you, which is amazing, and also sometimes I wonder, because I'm kind of the same way, is you're always positive and you're always smiling. So now my question is that like a facade that you're like, okay, Komal, like keep it together? Or are you like, you know what, screw this, my life, I'm going to dust myself off, I'm going to go for it, like forget it.
Unfortunately, I was born a very happy, chirpy person.
You're a very happy, chirpy person.
And I've gotten a lot of flack for that.
Why?
Because when I go on red carpet, I'm like, this time I'm going to do what everybody else does. I'm going to be like... and then I'm like, hi! When I see someone I love and I'm like, Hassan, how are you? And then I'm like, oh, no. I need to be celeb. Like, it's a G, autograph. Hi! And then, I just completely, it's not me.
Yeah.
And I have gotten over it.
Yeah.
And more so, a lot of people in our society were always like, why is she so friendly? Like, what does she want?
In Karachi, being friendly is a problem.
Like, I didn't say hi to her, so she came up to me and said hi. Wow. And you know what? This is so high school. It's so complex.
Yeah, it's so insecure.
And I feel like it's not even insecure and complex. There's another word for this.
Yeah.
It's tragic.
I agree.
It's tragic because if you can't be nice and kind and friendly, then why are you on this earth?
Exactly. Let a person be bubbly in peace.
Yeah. And you know what? A lot of people who are sober, like my mom, is
Yeah.
a very reserved,
Therao.
sober,
Therao, huh.
centered person. But that doesn't take away from her kindness and her positivity and her generosity.
Yeah.
She is a million times bigger heart than I have. And, you know, she will totally go up to say hi to someone or do all of those petty things that people waste their time on. It's not about being bubbly or being reserved. It's about
being kind.
Innately just, you know, just being, you know, what is the word? Just being yourself.
Yeah, authentic. Your authentic self. Yeah.
Yeah.
But my question is though, like, sometimes when shit hits the fan in your life, you're going through some adversity.
It's happened.
How do you, yeah, of course,
As we know.
Exactly. So how do you then get up and you're like, you meet your friends or you go to work and you're like, smile and you're not depressed and you find it in yourself to get out of bed and you're like, come on, let's tackle this day. How do you do
It's
that?
mindset, Kamala.
Yeah.
It's mindset. You know, the way you've been conditioned. I feel like I'm very blessed that my mindset conditioning by my father, who's a very positive, optimistic, and humble man.
He is. Yeah.
He's a self-made man, and he always taught us to be grounded and to be happy with whatever we have, whether it's 5 rupees, whether it's 5 Arab rupees, to be happy, you know, and to talk to our chowkidar with the same respect as we speak to our president of our Pakistan, which every human being deserves.
Absolutely.
Right? So that, I was blessed that my neurobions were connected and developed in that way. And I feel like that helped me when I hit rock bottom because it's my conditioning.
Yeah.
So my mindset after a couple of months of allowing myself to grieve, which is okay. It's okay to grieve. It's okay to just sit in your sadness and let your body experience that because you can't deny your body that grief. No. But then you need to, at some point, when you're ready, dust it off and say, only I am responsible for making my dreams come true.
Absolutely, that makes so much sense. And self-reflection and self-awareness are sorely lacking, I feel.
In the society that we move in, I think that it's I think lacking is a good word.
Yeah, lack thereof. And also, like, speaking of relationships and marriages, I mean, we've seen, you know, with people we know, the society we live in, which is fairly regressive, that so many women choose to remain in toxic, sometimes abusive marriages rather than take that step to leave, even if they're financially stable, even if their parents will willingly take them and their kids back, they choose to stay. And my question is, as someone who's been through that journey, why? What is it? What's the issue?
It's a very multi-pronged answer. The thing is that I was in a toxic relationship because I didn't know it was toxic.
Interesting.
And I think a very big part of a parent's journey now, पहले तो पता ही नहीं था ना,
नहीं,
कि अच्छा थप्पड़ लगाया, एक ही दफा लगाया तो कोई बात नहीं है, तो नॉर्मल है. पहले पता ही नहीं था. अच्छा सास ने गालियां दी और बाथरूम में बंद कर दिया, अच्छा बड़ी हैं, चलो एक कान से सुनो दूसरे कान से. The concept of being a self-sacrificial saint was painted in a very high light.
Yeah.
Whereas vis-a-vis, I agree that बड़े बड़े हैं और मैंने आज तक अभी तक बड़े के ऊपर अपनी आवाज रेज नहीं की है और ना मैं कभी करूँगी. But to stand up for yourself in a respectable, classy, dignified way was never taught to us.
No.
So lack of awareness by the children and the parents, the lack of having the tools and techniques available to you as to how to deal with a toxic husband, a boyfriend, a mother-in-law, father, whatever, toxic person. Friend, right? That has not been made available to us, at least in my time.
Yeah.
And third and foremost, it was all about society and all about, and we're specifically targeting those women who, despite having the means to leave the husband, despite having parents who will support the decision, do not. Right? But specifically, that was your question. So the third one would be, in my second marriage, I was like, oh, I'm a showbiz celebrity and I've been divorced. Nobody cares कि वो शराबी था, कबाबी था, cokehead था. अगर मैंने second time छोड़ा उसको, तो people will be like, हाँ, इसी की गलती है. No one's going to ask me क्यों मारता था, डांटता था. And he had multiple personality disorders. So his demeanor in the outside world is perfect. So who would get the blame? So I was afraid of what people who don't make any difference to my life thought, because I was also worried about my family.
Of course.
And my family's reputation. Being the first one in my family in show business, being the first one in my family to marry outside of the Pakistani culture, and the first one in my family to get a divorce. Now the first one in the family to get a second one. So it may not be the case with other women. I think I'm an anomaly in that way, but it's the fear of causing harm to your loved ones, that kind of. And then obviously that background may self-sacrifice yourself for your children, for your parents. So that I feel is still, like, I know people in America who are American, who are still together, maybe not in a very toxic relationship, but they're unhappy. And time never comes back. So if you're unhappy, that for me is equally bad. It's never going to come back because they're waiting for their kids to go to college. You know?
That's a common one.
But what they do not understand is that they're teaching that children learn by action and example. You can lecture them till the cows come home. They learn. My father has been lecturing me from a very small age that a certain habit that he has is very bad for me. And I still do it because he does it. And if people realize that they're making it okay for their kids to be in unhappy relationships, the message they're sending that it's okay.
They're leading by example.
But then again, I would also, on the second prong, answer that I also feel like some people are taking extreme steps on the other end, and they're saying, oh, he didn't get you a glass of water in a party? Divorce him. You know? Like, what? So there's a fine line here.
The balance you gotta...
People have to know that self-care does not mean be an idiot.
I agree.
You know, self-care means that where your respect is being compromised, then you take a step back and you think, should I speak up? And then you speak up. You know, self-respect and self-desire are two completely different things.
Interesting.
You know, and people mistake that very easily. Girls don't understand that मैं 4 महीने से कह रही हूँ कि मुझे सिस्टर इन लॉ मेरे घर पे नहीं रुकेगी और वो नहीं सुन रहा है. It's a desire. मैंने कहा कि मेरी सिस्टर इन लॉ ने मुझे गाली दी. That is self-respect. There is a huge difference. And I feel, being an Eastern woman, there are still some traits and some traditions and some values that we should not adopt from the West. And
we have some good stuff we should retain.
We should own who we are. And that is who we are. But not at the expense of our sanity and our respect.
And I've seen like your journey of, you know, growth and evolution, which, I mean, has been amazing. You know, as someone who's just kind of witnessed it over, you know.
Really, I just feel like all of this I did when I was younger, and now I'm just like having to work to do it all over again.
No, but it's true though. Like, you know, like you've grown as a person, and there are people who haven't grown as people, and you're just like, really? You're still saying this that you were saying when you were 19? Really?
I often wonder why. Is it
I
because
also wonder
of
why.
People they surround themselves with? Is it because they've just been conditioned to be stagnant?
Can I tell you, I think that people who have those friends or those siblings who call you out, I think that is such a treasure. And I feel the you know, people who everyone's just kind of, you know, not really giving them the truth, not showing them reality, putting them on a pedestal. I feel it is damaging because you're not growing, you're not changing, you're not self-reflecting. And, you know, so I feel the people you surround yourself with, as you said, the company
is very
important. I think that is the prime factor in growth.
Absolutely.
And speaking of evolution, like what you've done with Truly Komal, I mean, the brand you have built, I mean, it is so impressive. And I mean, I've used them. Such wonderful products.
And you have sensitive skin.
Yes, I do. Like, so, and however, like, you know, being in the beauty business, you got to be aware of ageism, colorism, you know, sexism, all these kind of, you know,
Whiteism.
yes, whiteism, you know, the Eurocentric idea of what beauty is, and us being, we are brown, it's okay, we're brown, let's just be
We're brown
happy
and
with it,
beautiful.
brown and beautiful. You know, I think Bridgerton too, in a way, even though a lot of people don't like it, I think that representation is important, to see dark-skinned girls as desirable. So what is your beauty philosophy?
So I started skincare to facilitate anybody and everybody in Pakistan who wants to take care of their skin in a good quality. Like, I'm no Yves Saint Laurent, right? Because nobody will buy a $300 cream. So I had to really think about how much I can compromise on quality and still make it affordable.
And keep the price point
Affordable. Yeah. And so the problem was that Pakistani mentality is very 300 rupees ki cream le aur gora ho jaye. So I needed to break into that industry. I have changed the face of the skincare industry, as now I am the highest selling local skincare online in Pakistan.
Amazing.
And the reason I have done that is I started with what people could accept. And I did it. I sold a 300, 400, 500 rupee ki cream jisko aadat thi for 2,700 rupees, and I put my belief behind it and my voice behind it and my face behind it, and I used it. And I still use it. And the purpose of, as you coming back to the philosophy, was to provide safe, effective skincare at affordable prices.
For brown girls.
For brown girls.
Yeah.
It's a Pakistani product. It's only available in Pakistan.
Yeah.
So, so I have many ranges. There are ranges that are for acne. There's an acne range. There's a charcoal range. There's a brightening glow range, which evens out hyperpigmentation, controls melatonin, reduces dark spots, age spots, evens out skin tone. There are some people who call in to use that as a whitening cream. That is, I don't judge. Everyone is allowed to do what they want.
Sure.
I'm a brand. There are people who use sunblock. There are people who are dark-skinned and they prefer using the hyaluronic range, which is for healthier, plumper skin. My job as a skincare industry, I would say one of the pioneers, at the risk of sounding pompous.
No, you are a pioneer.
Because the skin, it's so unaware. People are so unaware. I've gotten calls ke pehle face wash use kare ya scrub. Pehle serum lagaye ke moisturizer. So I have had to teach my customer base of over 100,000 people what is skincare and why is it important to spend 2,000 rupees on a cream as opposed to 2,000 rupees in a 2-hour restaurant. You know, because that cream...
It's that trade-off. Yeah.
Again, I will have this caveat that your lifestyle and your diet is the majority of what your skin and hair is, right? Your nutrition. But the topical creams serve as a very vital tool for maintenance and enhancement. Like, you use a great cream, you are glowing the next day, right?
Yeah.
So the philosophy is, I don't care what you want to be, white or brown, but as long as you look healthy, your skin is healthy, and you know, try my products.
And you're also releasing a book about health and well-being, like a beauty book. Tell us about that. That's exciting.
So this woman, ... Were there 5 dots there? Okay, so she and I were very excited. In fact, she inspired me to do like this beauty Bible where it's a step-by-step basically instruction. It's a 2-part book.
Yeah.
The first part that's coming out, they're both coffee table books. Like, I am no intellectual like you are.
Yeah.
But it's a beauty book. It's what I'm good at. And I've gotten a few experts together and a few recipes that it's a DIY book.
Amazing.
So if you can't afford to buy stuff at markets, or if you just want to do fun and do a DIY mask at home for hair, for body scrubs, It's a beautiful book with beautiful artwork.
Amazing.
It's going to be Pakistan's first beauty Bible.
Yay!
I'm very excited.
That's exciting.
Second Eid.
Yes, excellent. You better send us, like, the moment you have the cover.
Yes.
Send me a
Complimentary
picture.
and signed.
My bookshelf. Yes. Okay, yay. So, rapid fire.
Done.
All
Ready.
right. Singing or acting?
Singing.
I knew it. The celebrity that left you speechless?
So many.
I
I
know.
would say Meera. Matira? Meera.
Meera or Matira?
Meera.
One book you would recommend?
Oh, so many. I guess my favorite would be... I don't want to recommend my favorite book.
Later, off camera.
Okay, so I know this is a rapid fire round, but I'd like to quickly say that I am an escapist.
Okay.
And I don't read intellectual books. I like Dan Brown.
Yeah, that's fine.
Da Vinci Code.
I
like,
love Dan Brown.
Flowers in the Attic. I
Yeah.
like very escapist.
Yeah.
Like, I love Clive Cussler. I love,
No, that's
adventure,
amazing.
romance.
Yeah. Everything doesn't need to be intellectual.
Paulo Coelho. I've read all his books.
Yeah.
I was like, not my thing at
Yeah.
all. A lot
Yeah.
of people feel like, I don't know what they
Connection to him.
benefit
Yeah.
they derive.
I love
But I
him.
like to be happy.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. Okay. Favorite show on Netflix?
Outlander.
Okay, that's
So
pretty.
romantic.
Speaking of fantasy, yes, absolutely. How much do you love me?
It depends on the size of the hamper that I'm going to get after this rapid fire.
I'm not Karan Johar. So you're not getting any fancy hamper.
I love you more than Karan.
When my bookshelf becomes a millionaire, then I'll send you, inshallah, send you something. Should women let their hair grey naturally?
I think it depends on them
Mm-hmm.
completely. I think if they love to be purple, they should be purple. And if it gives them joy, whatever gives them joy.
Yeah, to each their own.
Yeah.
The secret to your glowing skin?
Truly Komal.
Yes, I thought so. Okay.
And water.
Yeah. Your secret celebrity crush?
You know, something's wrong with me. I think
Okay.
hormones.
Huh?
I've recently started loving someone who I hated all my life.
Who?
Shah Rukh Khan.
No, I love. Who doesn't love Shah Rukh Khan?
Dude, like with his beard and his
It's
then his hair,
working.
and he's calling Myra beta, and he's not like pretending to be younger.
I love it.
He's owning his age.
I agree.
I'm like,
SRK.
"Mujhe kya ho raha hai, dude?"
No,
Like,
no, SRK
I
is
would
like-
totally have his surrogate baby.
I think everyone would. Okay, and Dane Pe Dana or Baojee?
Baojee.
Yeah. Same. Okay, can you sing something for us?
Oh gosh, what would you like me to say?
Anything.
Okay. बिछड़े अभी तो हम बस कल परसों जीऊंगी मैं कैसे इस हाल में बरसों मौत ना आई तेरी याद क्यों आई हाय लंबी जुदाई 4 दिना दा प्यारो रब्बा पड़ी लंबी जुदाई लंबी जुदाई
That was so good. I'm like, oh my God, she's crying. Oh my God. That was just like so emotional, and the song and your voice.
Oh gosh.
Wow, on that note, oh my God, this was such a beautiful emotional episode, and
I
the
love you
perfect
so
bow
much.
to wrap it up with. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode as much as I did, because she's one of my best friends, and hope to see you guys next week on the Tea with My Bookshelf.